Are you struggling to understand your business numbers? Are you wanting to take your business to the next level? Well, each week here on the Local Small Business Coach podcast, we dive into your business to help you not only understand the business numbers that matter, but we will discuss how to use them to increase your profits. Hi, I'm Tammy, and I'm on a mission to help our badass local business owners take their business to the next level. So if you're a badass or a badass in the making, let's get this party started. Hey, badass business owners, welcome back to the show. It is Thursday. It means it is Know Your Numbers time. Today, I want to dive into retained earnings. And retained earnings is basically the money you have at the end of the day that you keep in your business. We're going to talk about how we get there, but more importantly, what do you do with it? All right, so let's kind of jump right in, shall we? First off, remember our calculation. I drilled it in last week. We're going to continue to drill it in. Sales minus cost of goods sold minus your expenses equals your business's profits. And just like I talked about before, there's a few other little things in there, but for most of you, it's going to be this simple. Okay, sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profits. You guys are on your way to memorizing that if you have not already. Well, the question becomes, what do you do with that profit? Well, your profit at the end of the day is going to go to a couple different things. You're going to set some aside for taxes. You're going to set some aside for what we call owner's draw, and that's the money that you take out of the business. For some of you, you think that means I take everything that's left over at the end of the day. That's not how a business owner thinks. That's how an employee thinks. So we're going to get you off of that mindset of every dollar left at the end of the day is yours. It belongs to your business. So you're going to pull out the owner's draw piece. So you've pulled some out for taxes. You're going to put that in your tax account off to the side, an account money that you don't even look at. I'll have to do an episode on that one. And then you're going to have the owner's draw. But then you have this chunk that is left behind for retained earnings. And retained earnings is basically money that you're leaving in the business. And the reason that you're leaving it in the business is because it's going to help you grow the business. It's going to help you grow the business, but it's also going to help you survive certain times of the year. Some of you have very seasonal businesses, and there's times in the year where you just don't have any money to pay all those expenses. And in the past, the old you, before the Know Your Numbers, you used to just run around trying to find more sales to be able to cover the bills, right? Well, now, since we know those slow times are coming and we know that we don't do enough sales to offset that, we're going to have retained earnings that we leave in the business to be able to help us get through those slower months. So that's one thing that you're doing with the money. Another thing that you're doing, for example, is you're using it so that way, one, you never have to go borrow money to pay your employees, because you always got to make sure you pay your employees. So those retained earnings, you're keeping them in there in case you ever do have a hiccup or something happens. Maybe the city shuts down your location. It rains, the weather's crazy, and you need some money to help float the business. Another reason why you want to have retained earnings in your business. It helps you get through those flukes. Some of the most successful businesses that made it through the really bad recession that we had 10 years ago, it's because they had retained earnings. They had cash in the bank, which allowed them to be able to ride out some of those really tough times. But here's some of the other great stuff that you get to do with these retained earnings. It allows you to buy things and remain debt-free. So when you do need to go out and replace some of your equipment or your tools, you have the cash to be able to do that without going into debt, creating a bigger hole for you to be able to have to get out of every single month. Without raising your expenses, you're able to pay things for cash. But here's the cool thing. In a lot of cases, you get to take advantage of other people's rough spots. And really, you're not really taking advantage of them. You're taking advantage of the situation to be able to pick up their equipment. So you're helping them out because they need to sell their equipment. Maybe they're closing down their doors, getting out of business, getting rid of certain things. You're able to pick up really good equipment at pennies on the dollar because you have the cash and can get them the money really quickly, so that way you're helping them out. They're able to sell their equipment, but you're helping yourself out at the same time because you're able to pick up their material. It could be their products. It could be, whatever the case may be. You can be picking that up because you have that cash to be able to do that. So having those retained earnings opens up so many doors for you to be able to grow your business. If a great advertising opportunity pops up, guess what? You don't even have to blink at it because you have these retained earnings in the business that you can tap into to be able to take advantage of that. So having money in the bank in your business actually affords you the ability to make really good calls. Have any of you ever had this great, wonderful opportunity, but you just didn't have the money to jump on? I'm sure you have. Most people have if you've been in business for a while. You're going to have those kinds of moments. By having the cash in the business to be able to invest back into the business, it helps you what we call bootstrap to grow the business and to take advantage of those opportunities. But here's the thing, retained earnings doesn't just happen. Retained earnings happen on purpose. It's because you have a plan for your business and you put those first and foremost. So here's the thing. Let's just say that you get $1,000 at the end of the month. And you might say, well, I'm going to take that $1,000 for myself, as opposed to saying that no matter what, I'm going to set aside $500 every month for my business. Now, because you're putting that $500 back into the business, guess what? You're not going to selfishly take out the $1,000. You're going to leave $500 in the business to be able to grow the business, and you're only going to pull out the $500 for yourself personally as part of that owner's draw. So you have to go into it knowing that I'm on this mission. I'm on this plan. Need a piece of equipment? It costs $1,000. You can say, look, I'm going to save up for this over the next 3 months through my retained earnings. I know I need to set aside $333, 1/3 of $1,000, cut it in 3 chunks. I'm going to put aside $350 every single month for the next 3 months so I can buy this $1,000 piece of equipment. It's having intentions with your money. All right. So let's just use a couple different examples. Okay. Because you got to remember, if you've been following along, you want to make sure that you know that, especially if you use service-based people, you should have been paying yourself a fair wage up in your cost of goods sold. Because remember, we're going to kind of write yourself 2 checks. One is as the doer and one is as the owner. So when I'm talking about profits at the end of the day, I'm talking about the owner's piece of that money. You should have already paid yourself under your cost of goods for the service that you provide. So you would have already paid yourself, I'm just picking numbers, say 40 hours a week at $20 an hour. You would have already written yourself a check for that amount as one of the doers. The money at the end of the day for the true profits comes after those cost of goods. Remember, sales minus cost of goods minus expenses. If you are not a service-based business, then you probably would have set aside money for yourself under your payroll line. Even though you don't have an actual payroll, you would have written yourself a check under your payroll, under your expenses, so that way you can make sure you paid yourself a fair wage. Now remember, a fair wage isn't necessarily what you think you're worth. A fair wage is what you would pay someone else to do that same job, because we're setting ourselves up as a business owner to have more employees down the road, and we want this built into our profit and loss statement so we know exactly what we can expect as we bring people aboard. So you're kind of having 2 checks that you write yourself. One is as the employee and one is as the owner. So your profit, once again, go back to retained earnings, that's the owner's draw. So let's just say that you have $500 at the end of the month in profit. You've already paid yourself, remember, your fair wage, so forget about that. You have $500 worth of profits. So you might say, hey, I'm going to set aside $250 to go towards my growth. That's going to be my retained earnings, and I'm going to pull out the other $250 as part of my owner's draw. And from that, you might know that you have to set a certain amount aside for your taxes and everything else. But your owner's draw piece is going to be 1/2, and maybe you split it down the middle. You might have all of it. You might say, I'm not going to take anything as an owner's draw. I'm going to go ahead and put it back. You hear about this all the time in businesses that you've heard. They said, hey, every dime went back into the business. I took out a very minimal wage for myself. Everything else I 100% continue to put back into the business until a certain amount. Very common for people to do at the beginning stages of running their business or building their business, or if they're in a growth stage, they might say, hey, for the next year, I'm not going to take any money out of the business other than a fair wage. Everything else is going to stay in the business so I can grow the business. It's a business decision that you make. So your $500, you might not take anything. You might say all $500 goes back into the business, other than maybe $100 or whatever that you're setting aside for taxes, whatever that your numbers are. And by the way, for those of you that aren't putting it into your cost of goods, your wage into cost of goods or into your expenses, and you're 100% taking it out of the owner's draw, no problem. In that case, you know what, you might have you're going to have a higher percentage, profit at the end of the day because you haven't taken out any of those wages. So let's just say your profits are $3,000. You might say, hey, I'm going to pull out $2,500 for my money, for my wage to pay myself, and the other $500 is going to remain in the company. So it's the same thing regardless of where you pay yourself. I just encourage you to have two wages that you pay yourself, two checks that you write yourself. One is the doer and one is as the owner. So this way you can continue to make sure that you get a paycheck, which is what you need to have, because you got to make sure that you're getting paid through your business, but at the same time is you can have what the true profits of that company is, because at the end of the day, if you go to sell your business, someone has to replace you. They're going to count that somebody has to be hired to do what it is that you do. So you want to capture that. If you want to grow your business and hire people in the future, you need to know it needs to already be built in that you're paying them all along, even though it was you, now it's somebody else. So we're always going to be talking about that. Okay. It's a different mindset for most of you, and we're doing it on purpose. A couple other examples. Remember, we talked about equipment, the $1,000 one. We talked about that, how you can do it through retained earnings, the seasonal swings, getting yourself through things. So there's so many different things that your retained earnings is important for. And I want to make sure that each of you guys are thinking of it that way, that your profits at the end of the day, how much of those profits after you pay yourself and everything else are you going to leave in the business to be able to take advantage of different things, to be able to help you through seasonal swings, to be able to help you purchase the equipment that you need to grow your business, to take advantage of the opportunities that come in front of you to be able to purchase stuff at a discounted rate, take advantage of advertising opportunities that might fall in your lap that you now will have the money on, for you to be able to, if the weather goes crazy and you're able to get the business through that, especially if you have an outdoor if you put up fences and all of a sudden it just pours for 2 weeks, guess what? You can't do the business. For some of you guys that live in hurricanes areas or tornadoes or floods and all that, you have those times where your business basically comes to a halt. While you ride that piece out, you need to have retained earnings to be able to help get you and the business through those times. That's where retained earnings come in handy. Remember, the most successful businesses out there have cash reserves. They have these cash reserves for these very reasons, to get through these different things that pop up, or these opportunities that show up, or to make sure they never miss payroll, whatever the case may be. So remember, you're changing your hat. You're no longer just an employee of your business. You are a CEO and you're thinking big. And guess what? CEOs pay very close attention to the retained earnings of what they're doing in their business. That's what I want to make sure that you're doing from now on. Sales minus cost of goods minus your expenses equals your profit. And part of that profit is owner's draw, but a big chunk of that profit goes towards retained earnings. Want to make sure that you guys understand that really, really well. And with that, that concludes today's lesson for Know Your Business Numbers. And don't forget, if you want to learn more about your business numbers, don't forget you can head on over to knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com, knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com, to do the course that we have set aside for you. It's dirt cheap, but we're going to dive into P&L, into all these different numbers, constantly adding new materials to it to be able to help you guys understand your business numbers. There's a link in the show notes as well. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and I will talk to you on the next episode. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Hey, before you go, if you're looking to learn more about your business numbers, then check out the Know Your Business Numbers course, where we take a deeper dive into the key numbers, the calculations, the reports that will help you take your business to the next level. My mission is to help everyone love their business numbers. Yes, even including those of you that hate math. So much profit is hidden inside of your business numbers, and I want you to create some awesome profits. So check out the link in the show notes or head on over to the knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. Once again, knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. Come join me. Let's go ahead and work on building your profits.